Not too long ago, I took my mother and two of my aunts who were in town from Florida to Churchill Downs. They were in town and they wanted to go to historic Churchill Downs and play some ponies. I said, hey, you don't have to ask me twice. Let's go. So I took them up there. We had a great time and we picked a lot of winners. And not only did we pick a lot of winners, pretty much everybody did, in fact, cash multiple tickets. But we found winners that were long shots. It was an historic day, an enjoyable day. And I say historic not from a profit perspective. I definitely made more money before than I did on this particular day, Friday, June 11th, 2021 at Churchill Downs. But historic from the fact, and if you play the races enough and go to the track enough, you probably have one of these days where you and your buddies, you and your loved ones, your family, your friends are together and you're on the same horse and cheering for the same horse. And when that horse wins, everybody wins. And it's just a moment in time that you'll never forget. And that's why this particular day of racing was historic. Now, for you, the handicapper, for you, the horse player, this video hopefully will help you pick more long shots from what I'm getting ready to show you. And I'm going to use one of the races, the final race, the nightcap on this particular day of racing at Churchill Downs that highlights this piece of data that you could be looking for. It was a great day. We would have been winners and came out ahead even for race 9 on that particular day. But this day was just, this was the cherry on top. Race 9, Churchill Downs, Friday, June 11th. It was 1 1/16 on the turf. And here's how it went down. And this is what I want to show you. So if you use Brisnet past performances, and that's pretty much what I use because it's my favorite 4-letter word. It is free. I do not believe in paying for past performances. Now, it's been a while, so maybe these other ADWs, whether it's TVG, Naira Bets, maybe DRF, maybe they offer some free past performances that you can use. But the last time I paid for daily racing form was like 2008 or 9. Like there's no way I'm spending whatever it is, $8, $9, $10 on the daily racing form for when I can get some of the information that has served me well. If I lose and if I never find any long shots or any prices or cash any tickets by using Brisnet past performances, then I might think about buying some past performances from daily racing form or somewhere else. But until then, I ain't paying for nothing. I'm going to use these free ones because it keeps serving me well. And in particular, here's what I want to focus on in this video. This little section right here you can find at the end of every race that you are handicapping in the Ultimate Past Performances Brisnet. Now, if you bet on Twin Spires, you get these for free as long as you bet on that particular track. As you see here, this gives you a percentage of winners that are at various odds, different odds ranges. Now, in full disclosure, this particular race and how they base it on is the particular race at a particular class level on a particular surface at a particular distance. So this is a small sample size, I know, but it paid off. In this particular case, and it usually pays off in the long run. So if you're a long shot player and you are looking to play long shots, well, seek out the races that produce long shots. It's that simple. You can go through here and some races you can see this number, winners under 5-1 being 60, 70, sometimes 80%, so that based on stats alone, you're probably not going to get too many long shots in a particular race that has that first number, this first category under 5-1 at a high percentage. Now, vice versa, you look through here and you see races that are producing higher prices. In this case, this particular race, 75%, again, it's only 4 races, so 75% of 4 were between 5-1 to 10-1. To me, that's worth just having fun at the track with your family. That's worth playing a long shot in a race like this, even though it was only 4 races. Another thing to keep in mind, this is purely anecdotal evidence, but to me it seems like the end of the last race at Churchill Downs, and it could be like this at your tracks too, that you play often. Pay attention to see if the last race produces more long shots than other races. To me, it seems like at Churchill Downs, I need to do some research on this to have some stats to back this up, but it seems to me long shots win the last race at Churchill Downs more than favorites do, or low price horses. I could be wrong, but it seems that way. And it seems like horses that I didn't make no sense to me win this race. So I need to learn from my past mistakes and play more price horses in this race. And that's probably why they have that super high five bet always in the last race at Churchill Downs, because they know that this particular kind of race might produce some chaotic results. Another thing to kind of keep in mind is for another video, but I think at Churchill Downs, it seems like favorites win the first race. That might be a trend, or more than a trend, that might be a fact at other racetracks, that these racing secretaries, they card races, that first race of the day, that are pretty formful. Could be wrong, but it seems like low price horses win the first race at Churchill Downs a lot, and high price horses win the last race at Churchill Downs a lot. Purely anecdotal, though. I need to do some research on it. All right, back to this race, though. So I've thought, when I was handicapping this the night before and in the morning before we went out to the track, it was tidying up my tickets and picks and stuff, that this race might produce a long shot. Another thing I do want to mention is it's a turf race. Turf races are usually more chaotic, usually produce higher price horses than dirt races. So I had the small sample size of the stats of what typically the odds are producing here in a race like this. I had the anecdotal evidence of the last race at Churchill Downs usually producing high price horses or long shots. And then I also had the fact that it was a turf race. I was going into that race taking a shot, looking for a long shot. I was, even before I even handicapped the runners in this race, I thought that this particular race might produce a long shot based on some of those factors that I just mentioned. Now let's kind of briefly handicap the race. I'm not going to make this video about handicapping the race. I want it to be about this little section in the Brisnet past performances. Look for numbers that are higher in the second and third category than it is in the first. More often than not, you're probably going to find you a long shot there. Doesn't mean you'll pick the right long shot. We all had, we figured the favorite was going to be beat or vulnerable in a race like this, and we pick a price, but it's the wrong price horse. We've all been there, and we'll all be there again plenty of times. But this time, it worked out. So let's look at this. Another thing to keep in mind is post positions. You can see the running style in post position that horse winners of this particular kind of race have won. So the post position, 4 to 7, 8+, that's something that I kept an eye on a little bit, as well as the running style. Now the two horses that we ended up picking didn't fit. They fit the post position, but they didn't fit the running style or the pace scenario. But at the right odds, it's worth taking a gamble. And I say that a lot in my videos. If you watch Weekend Handicapper videos, it's all about what bet to make. A lot of times the bet that you make is determined by the odds that you see on the tote board, or not bet if it's too low of odds. All right, so we went with the 5 and the 6 horse, Ransack and Clear for Action. If we look back here, these two, as far as the pace goes, it was a presser or a closer that have won so far at this particular kind of race. Neither one, the 5 or 6, were that running style. You see, like here, Clear for Action was, scroll that back up there. It gets out to the early lead in these last couple starts. Same thing with the 5 Ransack. Look at that. This horse loves to be on early lead. So we had looking for a price in this race. After I looked through all these horses, I thought Ransack and the number 5 Ransack and the number 6, what's that called again, Clear for Action, could get out to the early lead and hopefully hang on at a big price. And we'll see what happened here in just a little bit. But another thing, this horse was dropping in class. Number 5 Ransack was dropping in class. And if you play horses a lot, you know that class is a really good handicapping factor to use when it comes to turf races. That's something that must be considered. Now, another reason that this horse probably went off at odds a lot higher than that morning line is it was only on turf one time. But if we look here, the trainer, very small ROI on this turf starts. But again, folks, I keep saying it over and over in these videos, the price determines the bet. And when I looked up there on that tote board and number 5 Ransack was 21-1 off a 8-1 morning line, it was worth a few bucks for my family to put. And, you know, we were already ahead for the day. So I have a little fun in the nightcap at Churchill Downs. All right, so let's recap here. Just want you to, if you use Brisnet past performances or the past performances that you use have something like this, please pay attention to this if you like to bet long shots. Because if you look in this area and if certain races produce certain prices more than others, and those are long shot prices, those are the races that you need to be playing if you are playing for long shots. So this race could produce a long shot. It was on turf, last race of the day, and we went with the following handicapping factors. Horses that dropped in class a little bit, horses that might get out to the early lead a little bit, and as you see, I mean, to be a really good pace handicap, you got to look more than just here. But at a glance, you see the 6 likes to be out front and the 5 likes to be out front. What if these horses at good odds can hang on from post positions that have won here recently? And we can see that right here, these post bias. Small sample size, I know, but what if that trend keeps and that bias keeps continuing? At 21-1, that's all we needed to know. That's all you had to tell me. 21-1, we're going to take a shot. And I think the favorites were vulnerable. The low-price horses were vulnerable. And this is how it played out. So, again, this is race. Forgive me for scrolling here. I need to just do that right there. Here's how it played out. Race 9, July 11th, or June 11th, excuse me, 2021. Here is how it ended. I'll put the entire race in the video description below. But spoiler alert, Ransack won.
Runner, only 3 lengths behind. Then it's overzealous. They're at the top of the stretch. Ransack turning for home, still in front a length and a half. Kurlove is boxed in toward the rail. Clear for Action fights on. Honest Breeze has to go now. 'Tis a runner, but Ransack is rolling. Ransack by 2, now by 3 with a 16th to go. Honest Breeze finding stride. 'Tis a runner's coming on late. Ransack desperate for the wire and gets there. Ransack wire to wire.
About that time, you can't see, we're down here somewhere. Me, my mom, my aunt, my couple aunts. I kissed my mom on the forehead right there as soon as that was Ransack was crossing that finish line. And we all left a winner, and we left a winner in a big way. We found a huge overlay, in my opinion, from 8-1 morning line to 21-1 at post time. Paid $44.80. As you see in the videos, throughout these videos with the pictures of my $2 better aunts and mom getting paid. And it's what it's about. It's finding, it's great cashing tickets, but nothing beats cashing tickets on long shots. And it's just it was a heck of a day. but to help you out, hopefully this video, again, I'll put the race replay in the description below if you want to watch it, the entire race. But basically Ransack got out to the early lead like we were hoping, and it hung on like it was hoping. As you saw, those other horses were coming, but which was the favorite or a low price horse here, this number 1 horse, and I think it was the 2. Yeah. So, yeah, the 2 logical horses were coming. So, but we got lucky with Ransack. And what I do want you to kind of, if you remember anything from this video, is next time if you use Risnet past performances or some kind of past performances that show the odds, the percentage of winning horses and their odds, what their odds were, look for this second number and this third number to be higher than the first number. If so, play that race. Try to think outside the box. Use these handicapping angles that others might not use, and you'll be rewarded for it. I mean, that race alone, if we only won that race that day, we would have had a winning day. But the fact that we use this technique quite a bit throughout that race day, but not only this race day, but anytime I'm handicapping, if you're trying to find a wide open race, this is a fast way to maybe narrow down those races that might produce long shots. So hopefully this has helped you out. Hopefully you use this to cash some high price winners and improve your handicapping and improve your ROI. Again, these are free if you bet through Twin Spires. This is what's called the Ultimate Past Performances. And this particular one is with comments. And this is what we use to find that $44 horse. And we're going to find a lot more, just like we always have, for free, using these free past performances and using a combination of this data and these stats that you can find on these past performances. Okay. Until next time, this is a Weekend Handicapper. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you hadn't already, I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can get all the latest tips, tools, and resources from Weekend Handicapper. All right, till next time, happy handicapping, smart wagering.